Auburn, New York, the place Harriet Tubman called home. It's where she built a life beyond the Underground Railroad. It's where she laid down roots, shaped the community, and spent her final years fighting for others in new ways. From the 1850s until her passing in 1913, Harriet Tubman continued her work, acquiring land, establishing a home for the elderly, and fighting for women's rights. On my visit to Auburn, I set out to understand what the city meant to Harriet, not just as a stop on her journey, but as a place where her legacy took lasting form. To do that, I met with Brittany Lane, lead interpretive park ranger for the Harriet Tubman National Historical Park. This park preserves the spaces that shaped Harriet's later years, including the Thompson Memorial AME Zion Church, built in 1891, a place of worship for Harriet, and the site of her funeral in 1913. To truly understand Harriet Tubman's deep connection to this church and its role in her life, I met with Brittany there to walk through this history and uncover the stories it told.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
You as well. So you are the lead park ranger for the National Historical Park.
Yes, I'm the lead park ranger of Harriet Tubman National Historical Park.
Okay. And the parsonage is next door, right?
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to talk, and you're going to tell us a bit
Harriet
about
Tubman's funeral was held at the AME Zion Church in Auburn in 1913, marking the end of a life dedicated to freedom and justice. Today, the church stands as a testament to her legacy, recently restored to its 1913 appearance. Now open to visitors, this historic sanctuary invites all who wish to experience the place where Harriet Tubman worshiped and was laid to rest. As Brittany shared with us, standing in this sacred space isn't just about seeing history. It's about feeling the presence of a woman whose courage and resilience continues to inspire generations.
Parsonage that's located next door.
Man, I've learned that there's so much about Harriet Tubman's story and history in Auburn. And so how does, we had a chance to visit her home, to visit the cemetery where she's laid to rest.
Yes.
Where does this building here fit within Harriet Tubman's legacy in the city of Auburn?
That's a great question. I think it fits in multiple ways. Speaking about just the church in general, Harriet Tubman was a woman of faith. Faith was one of the characteristics that carried her forth. Yeah. Of course, she escaped slavery, self-emancipated herself, might I say, and she helped over 70 others to get to freedom, and that was due to her having faith. So faith was one of her guiding principles. Why Auburn? 1859, Harriet Tubman proceeds to buy a 7-acre property or farm. Now, that farm was purchased from Frances Seward, and her husband, of course, was William Seward. That 7-acre farm began her form of independence here in Auburn. And there were several other reasons why she wanted to come.
While visiting with Brittany, we uncovered the reasons behind Harriet Tubman's decision to make Auburn her home. Auburn wasn't just any town. It was a vibrant community known as New Guinea, a free Black settlement founded by Harry and Kate Freeman. It was a hub for abolitionist activity and a strong support network for Harriet Tubman. Here, she found allies who shared her vision of freedom and justice. Auburn also offers something even more profound, the opportunity to acquire land. Harriet Tubman would effectively transition from being property to owning land. For Harriet, Auburn will become a place where she could finally build a life of her own.
You mentioned she had a sense of humor.
Yes.
What did that sense of humor look like?
So, with one of the things is that Harriet Tubman would actually make slingshots. and just knowing something like that, it brings the humanistic back to her, because sometimes when people are made into huge heroes, exactly, it's difficult to understand. Harriet Tubman, she wanted to rest. She did rest. She had a sense of humor. She cared for others. She cared for the disabled. She cared for the elderly. She cared for a lot of people that would have been probably on the outcast list.
Harriet Tubman's story continued here in Auburn, where she built a life and had a lasting impact on her community. Standing in the Thompson AME Zion Church, where she worshiped, found strength, and was laid to rest, it's clear her presence is still felt. Through Brittany's insight, we've seen how this space is a testament to Harriet's faith, resilience, and devotion to community. If you want to walk the streets Harriet once did, stand in the spaces where she found peace, built community, and shaped her legacy, make the journey to Auburn, where Harriet's story is still alive.